Hello everybody, welcome to Mike Cadaver's Horror Pub Trivia. I'm Mike Cadaver.
And I'm Betty Cadaver.
And today we are bringing you a sneak peek into our show, Mike Cadaver's Horror Pub Trivia. We're going to be calling this Season 1, Episode 0, just in case you want to follow along with the companion app, which I will talk about in 1 minute.
Insert joke. Insert joke. Insert joke. Why did you write it like that?
I'll tell you why. Because since this is a preview, I didn't want to waste any of the good material on it. To get that stuff, you got to go with the real episodes coming up soon.
You know, that actually makes sense. Gotta account for scarcity and all. Alright, just so you know, each of our episode consists of 3 rounds and 10 questions each, opposed to this one round of just 10 questions.
And just speaking of the companion app, basically go to trivia@horrorpubtrivia.com. There you will see an app or a website, and on that you can click the instructions button and it will walk you through how to use the app, and basically it allows you to play along with your friends, keep score, and see who is the winner.
You might want to do that now. Just so you know, this round is completely random. We thought it would give you like a good introduction to our show.
However, just to make it a little bit easier, we put in a little pause section in between each question. That way, if you need a little bit more time, you can use it. So, without further ado, why don't we get into this episode right now?
Good luck! Question number 1. Who directed such classics as Head of the Family, Dr. Mordred, and Ginger Dead Man? Question number 2. In Jeepers Creepers, how often and for how long does the creeper awaken to feed?
What's blood for, if not for shooting?
Question number 3. In Midsummer, what is Danny crowned?
He just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Question number 4. Which horror franchise goes full marsupial in its 3rd installment? Question number 5. Which action horror movie from 2011 follows an inhabitant of hell who escapes to track down a cult leader who killed his daughter and kidnapped his granddaughter?
As you check the children.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Question number 6. What is the 1990 film directed by Adam Rifkin that is a play on the H.G. Wells classic, The Invisible Man?
Don't give it any help. It knows too much already.
Question number 7. Who plays the original comic book artist in the movie Cellar Dweller from 1988 who inadvertently summons a demon that takes the form of his drawing? Question number 8. This is definitely a spoiler, but what A-list actor played the killer in Mortuary from 1982?
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Question number 9. Which film from 1975 was regarded as the first summer blockbuster?
It's all true. The boogeyman is real. And you.
Question number 10. What was the name of the original film that was remade by John Carpenter in 1982?
Question number 1. Who directed such classics as Head of the Family, Dr. Mordred, and Ginger Dead Man? Charles Band. Charles Band has been making movies in many capacities for around 50 years. He has formed both Empire Pictures in 1983 and Full Moon Productions in 1988. He's been involved in movies such as Reanimator, Ghoulies, Subspecies, Puppet Master, and hundreds of other films. My favorite thing about Band is that he chooses to stay independent and to this day makes features for Full Moon Productions. He also knows what dudes like when he makes those movies. I just watched a film called Hideous the other day, and it literally had a topless woman wearing a gorilla mask. She held some guy up at gunpoint and said, "I am proud, I am woman." Question number 2. In Jeepers Creepers, how often and for how long does the creeper awaken to feed? Every 23 years for 23 days. Originally released in 2001, this movie had a shockingly suspenseful beginning. This film may not be completely unique in its execution, but it did give us a brand new monster and a brand new mythos to go along with it. If you're the type of person who yells at the screen when a character is about to make a bad decision, I'd bet that you were screaming at the screen during this one. Question number 3. In Midsommar, what is Dani crowned? The May Queen. This film definitely takes a nod from 1973's The Wicker Man. Midsommar shines the light on a culture that's very different. Visually stunning and bright, it seems like they went to great lengths to make sure that every little detail was included. What I don't get is why some whiny girl ends up deserving any kind of crown. Oh well. Question number 4. Which horror franchise goes full marsupial in its third installment? The Howling. In 1987, Howling 3, The Marsupials, was released direct-to-video in Australia. For it being the third in the series and having taken such a wild turn, this is actually a pretty dang good movie. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how wild this turn is after we saw The Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf, I guess, but this film is definitely played for laughs. The atmosphere and effects are great despite its obvious budget restrictions. Question number 5. Which action horror movie from 2011 follows an inhabitant of hell who escapes to track down a cult leader who killed his daughter and kidnapped his granddaughter? Drive Angry. Nick Cage plays the angry driver who escapes from hell and does whatever it takes to rescue his granddaughter. My perception is that this movie is very underrated in horror circles. Yeah, this is more of an action flick than a horror flick, but along with the sweet driving scenes, we have witchcraft, demons, cults, and hell itself all mixed up in this film treat. Question number 6. What is the 1990 film directed by Adam Rifkin that is a play on the H.G. Wells classic, The Invisible Man? The Invisible Maniac. So, at the time of this recording, this film is 33 years old. However, is it just me, or does it seem super duper creepy? I get that in the old days, musical acts like Kiss, Motley Crue, and Benny Mardones had no problem romantically singing about underage girls, and it's likely that the women in this movie were much older than the characters they played. It just seems creepy that a high school substitute teacher uses his stride in scientific research solely to spy on nubile teens? Question number 7. Who plays the original comic book artist in the movie Cellar Dweller from 1988, who inadvertently summons a demon that takes the form of his drawings? Jeffrey Combs. First of all, I just want to say that I love Jeffrey Combs and I love every movie he's in. He only has a small role in this film, but he's perfect for it. The movie is criminally underrated, and it's obviously shot on a tiny budget, and this is one of those forgotten horror gems that people just must see. This movie also stars Deborah Ferrantino, who you couldn't miss if you watched any television in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. It also stars Yvonne DeCarlo, who played Lily Munster. Question number 8. This is definitely a spoiler, but what A-list actor played the killer in Mortuary from 1982? Bill Paxton. Before Aliens, Weird Science, and Near Dark, Bill Paxton plays the misunderstood mortuary assistant who is into classical music and murdering everyone who wants to stop him from marrying his love. We all know what a versatile actor Paxton was, but if you're like me, you love his roles where there's something a little off in his brain. Number 9. Which film from 1975 was regarded as the first summer blockbuster? Jaws. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of nature gone amok horror movies, you really have to give a lot of credit to this film. Obviously, any movie directed by Steven Spielberg is able to transcend genre interests. This movie also stars Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. It's no wonder that this has become an almost universally highly regarded film. Number 10. What was the name of the original film that was remade by John Carpenter in 1982? The Thing from Another World. I figured I'd throw a softball with the last question of this little sample of my Cadaver's Horror Pub Trivia. My question for you, however, is have you actually seen The Thing from Another World? Other than the fact that it's from 1951 and has all the film trappings that go along with that, this is a very entertaining film. I have to say that I've never been so scared of a vegetable in my life.
Anderson here. No, I can't. I can't leave the hospital right now.
I don't even know your name.
The name is Anderson. How could she be from Boston? She doesn't even know the names of the rivers that run through town.
There's something strange about that girl. She has a total recall of another person's memories.
All right, everybody, there you have it. That was just a small taste of what's in store for you on My Cadaver's Horror Pub Trivia. Do us a favor and give us a like on our Facebook page, and also check back to our website, horrorpubtrivia.com, to know when we actually release our first episodes.
You can find us on OSI 74 and on OSI 74's Roku channel underneath the category Friday Night Wild.
So until then, and you're watching the regular show, I'm Mike Cadaver.
And I'm Betty Cadaver.
And we will catch you guys later.
You call this power play.